Bipartisan pressure growing now within the United States for the administration to stop funding Putin by buying Russian oil imports as the White House moves closer to a nuclear deal with Iran. There are concerns now that we could look to Iran to fill the oil gap. Here to discuss it all is Florida Congressman, member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, and a decorated Army veteran honored with the Bronze Star and Purple Heart medals, Brian Mast. And let me thank you right away, Brian, right off the bat, for your service to this great country. We so appreciate your time this morning as well.
Thank you, Maria.
Congressman, assess the situation for us. What needs to be done now to stop Putin? He is actually taunting the world by attacking that nuclear site in Ukraine, Europe's largest.
I believe we start by reverse engineering this, telling Putin and Russia that no matter what, this is how this conflict ends. Putin is out of power. Russia, because of their nuclear saber rattling, as we would call it, will conduct nuclear demilitarization. Because they've invaded the Ukraine, even though they called it peacekeeping originally, because they invaded the Ukraine, there will be demilitarized zones along all Russian borders. They will return Crimea and they will return Ukraine. No matter how this ends, we need to tell Russia, and the world needs to tell Russia, that there will be zero Russian energy used on the global stage until those conditions are met. Reverse engineer it.
Well, I mean, I think this is very straightforward. This is basically hitting them where it hurts, the money, but that's not what this administration is doing. Can you give us a sense of what your assessment is of the ground game? Because I'm told that there is a crucial need for air defense, jets, support for President Zelensky. I know we have rules in place for NATO countries, but this guy is threatening a nuclear war. Isn't it time that the U.S. and its allies stepped up even more?
It is 100% time that the United States, NATO, the West, EU step up and help Zelensky. The West is operating under this assumption that Putin is a rational actor, that if we don't do something, that he won't do something, that he's somehow proportional. That's simply not the truth about him. Remember, he said he went into Ukraine on a peacekeeping mission, and now he's leveling the country. So even if we don't do something, he still might attack. Let's not forget that we are conducting economic warfare. He has said that is an act of war. So what do we need to see on the kinetic side of it? We should see Turkish jets, German jets, French jets, and maybe even American F-35s enforcing a no-fly zone over the Ukraine. I believe that is something that we should do on top of the anti-armor weapons that we are providing to the ground. And when we look at that, let's realize that Putin is on the verge of conducting major cyber warfare against the United States of America and other countries. That is a form of warfare, just like economic warfare. But we're conducting this economic warfare with one hand tied behind our back, not sanctioning his energy, still using his energy. It'd be like sanctioning a farmer without sanctioning their crops.
You know, you had tours in Afghanistan, I know that, and many people say that the fact that the withdrawal out of Afghanistan was so botched and no plan going in there was part of the reason that you're seeing these dictators think that they have, room to do whatever they want. We're watching China, and China is watching what takes place because people are expecting China to try to do the same thing in Taiwan. What are your expectations of where this leads on a broader idea?
Well, these are Biden dominoes, right? From Inauguration Day and canceling American energy to Afghanistan and the withdrawal, and the list goes on. These are all Biden dominoes that have led to this point. My expectation, although I expect that this administration will not meet it, is that they show a level of strength. We should take this and realize the last entities that we want energy from are Russia, who we're still getting it from, Venezuela, who they tried to make a deal from, is just as bad an actor as Putin and Russia, and certainly not Iran, who is of the most radical ideologies on the precipice of becoming a nuclear power, which means they're going to start saber rattling in the same way that Putin is doing this. These are not the entities that we want to receive energy from. And I would give one other point about what I think this says we should be doing with China and Taiwan, which not many are thinking about in this moment. We see how difficult it is to arm the Ukrainians after the fact. We should be doing a show of force right now with Taiwan, saying we're going to make sure that Taiwan has the weapons right now to defend themselves before we get into any kind of situation with China doing nuclear saber rattling, saying if you do this, then that.
Yeah, it's what Mike Pompeo said this week as well. Make sure to tell the world that Taiwan is an independent country. Do it now, is what the former Secretary of State said. Congressman, it's great to see you this weekend. Thanks so much.
All the best, Maria.